There's renewed uproar tonight over that hunter who killed Cecil the lion. American dentist Walter Palmer remains the target of a rising tide of global anger and now new scrutiny. Tonight, investigators.
The reverberations from the killing of the beloved lion, Cecil, by American dentist Walter Palmer can be felt around the globe. Palmer ventured into this country, called by the thrill of the big kill. Palmer allegedly pays $55,000 to bag a lion, money that was supposed to cover a hunting permit, payment to the property owner where the hunt was to take place, and for guide Theo Bronkhorst. Palmer has also repeatedly insisted he thought his expedition was totally legal and properly handled. Using a method called baiting, Palmer and his guides dragged an elephant carcass behind their truck to lure Cecil from Wangay to a private farm. These tracks are the difference between life and death for this animal. On this side, you have a wildlife preserve where he can roam free. But take 1-2 steps on this side, you're on private property. It was there, on that farm, Palmer shot Cecil and came back the next morning to finish him off.
The killing of Cecil is a case study to trophy hunting, which is defined as paying to selectively hunt wild game animals. This is currently permitted in 23 sub-Saharan countries, among which South Africa contributes to 88% of the entire hunting industry. In just 9 years, hunters imported over 1.26 million trophies in the US, including at least 32,500 animals of endangered species such as lions, elephants, rhinos, and leopards. Opinions regarding trophy hunting have been controversial, with many debated about its benefits in terms of economic and environmental conservation. Could killing wildlife animals be more sustainable than preserving them? Let's look at some of the advantages of trophy hunting. It is estimated that about 9,000 trophy hunters travel to South Africa every year from mostly the US and the EU. Hunting permits could cost up to $350,000 US. According to the Biological Conservation, trophy hunting generates about $200 million and 30,000 jobs for the local communities. This does not include indirect revenue generated by tourism-related activities or transportation during the hunt. In addition, trophy hunting is considered to be sustainable. This is because the economic revenue contributes to trust funds that supports conservation efforts. These efforts include breeding the animal, providing medical facilities, and motivating locals to prevent poaching or killing of endangered species, especially the Big Five, including African elephant, buffalo, African lion, African leopard, and black rhinos. According to Save the Rhino International, from 1970 to 1993, the population of rhinos have declined by 96%. However, this number is said to have recovered to more than 5,000 individuals in 2016. While these impressive numbers might show the industry causes more good than harm, critical assessments from the other side have shown otherwise. Trophy hunting is contributing to only a fraction of a percent of GDP. Its contribution is in fact insignificant compared to nature-based tourism. Averagely, trophy hunting revenue is only 4.1% of tourism revenue. Taking Zimbabwe for instance, the $20 million in annual hunting revenue pales in comparison to the $200 million brought in by ecotourism. Of those $20 million, only 3% trickle down to the communities living in hunting areas.
But money from legal hunting and photographic tourism, unlike the illegal hunt in which Cecil the lion was shot, is the national park's sole source of funding. It is supposed to be ploughed back into conservation and assist poverty-stricken communities living near the parks. But Emmanuel Fondiera of the Safari Operators Association in Zimbabwe says corruption and bloated bureaucracy prevent much of the money from helping those in need.
Well, I would say it's intended to help conservation. There's a difference. Do those resources then get into those communities? I think that's where the question mark is.
Local chief Victor Nekatambe grew up in one such community near the Hwange National Park. How much money does the community get at the moment?
They are getting nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Even though it appears there is no tangible benefit to communities, the high price tag that hunters are willing to pay for their trophies means the hunt will go on.
The growing demand of trophy hunting will also result in environmental damages, which can be contrary to their claims to be a sustainable practice. Not all countries are successful in increasing the population of wildlife animals due to the problem of overshooting. This results in loss in both economic revenue and animals' population. In 1977, trophy hunting was banned in Kenya due to overshooting and corruption, costing the country approximately 20 to 40 million USD per year in lost revenues and contributing to a loss of about 70% of all wildlife since then. A growing demand for trophy hunting encourages a new method to ensure continuous supply of trophy games called canned hunting. This practice is considered to be unethical as it bred and kept these social animals in overcrowded and inadequate facilities. Most importantly, it should be noted that these animals are not part of the wild population and hence there is no real immediate impact on conservation.
When they're grown enough to be shot, they're usually drugged and ripped from their enclosures and transported just a few kilometers away to one of the hundreds of hunting farms where they let loose. And this is how it happens. Food is usually put out for the lion that is to be shot. That helps the hunters because they all know where the lion will be, at the food. Notice the meat strung from the tree next to where the lion is lying.
I think South Africa is most probably one of the only places in the world where we breed lions commercially. And we breed them for hunting.
We're talking of 6,000 to 8,000 lions in captivity.
It's not against the law. It's extremely unethical and immoral and against the animal's welfare, but it's not against the law.
Breeding wild animals is no sin.
Part of the story, part of the narrative is brutality.
Every single day in South Africa, at least 2 to 3 captive-bred, hand-bred, tame lions are being slaughtered in canned hunts.
It is important to note that trophy hunting can be sustainable if it is well managed. Yet, mismanagement is observed in many levels in African states. Most African states have high fragile state index, which means they are economically and politically unstable. This implies high rates of corruption and non-transparent governments. Poor governance might lead to exploitation of both the community and wildlife. Another issue of mismanagement arises from the lack of professionalism among trophy hunting operators due to lack of formal training. Operators are not obliged to comply with any standards or any professional hunting associations. Regulations suggest that only male lions above the age of 5 is suitable to be brought down, as it would have successfully raised its cubs to mature age by that time. Inexperienced and untrained guides are unable to correctly identify the age and gender of the animals, leading to unintended repercussions such as the increasing death of lions cubs and females. The issues of mismanagement of trophy could be addressed by both import and export countries. But given the weak governance of export states, currently it is better addressed in import states. The largest importers of game trophies are the US and the European countries. In both regions, permits from CITES are required for Big 5 species. If game trophies are known to be from an unsustainable source, import countries can impose a ban on them. In 2014, US announced an indefinite suspension on import of sport-hunted trophies from Tanzania and Zimbabwe due to this reason. This approach shows huge effort to ensure the sustainability of trophy hunting. However, it is newly introduced and close monitoring will be required to assess the effectiveness of this approach. Besides governmental efforts by implementing hard laws, NGOs and corporates play an important role in reducing the import of trophies by pushing for soft laws. One movement includes pressuring airlines to ban the transport of trophies. Influential NGOs such as the Humane Society International has contacted 250 airlines requesting that they immediately stop the shipment of trophies of the African Big Five. Many movements are petitioning not to use certain airline service until they stop importing trophies. This creates a reputational pressure on airlines to practice the CSR.
2 more American airlines have joined United and Delta in banning the transport of hunting trophies. US Airlines and American Airlines have now adopted the policy, prompted by online outrage over the killing of Cecil the lion. As well as lions, the ban covers leopards, elephants, rhinos and buffaloes.
It is confirmed that 42 airlines now prohibit shipment of trophies from not only Big Five, but also other wildlife species. In general, efforts have been made by both state and non-state actors in addressing sustainability issues regarding trophy hunting. However, these approaches do not encompass many problems identified earlier, such as lack of professionalism of operators, moral issues, and protection of other species outside CITES list. In order to encourage sustainable trophy hunting practice, a set of hunting standards and certification could be developed and introduced to both import and export states. The certification would be awarded to hunting operators that, firstly, have staff that are well equipped with relevant skills to ensure sustainability and moral ethics in hunting. Secondly, are transparent in transacting economic incentives to the local communities. The assessment of this standard and certification should be done by a third-party institution to decentralize exporting state power in managing the issues. Import states should only allow trophies that are certified to enter the country. This certification will introduce a voluntary regulation from the demand side of moral and responsible hunters, and thus will encourage supplying countries to adhere to the standards to be able to stay competitive in the industry. Even though this is a hypothetical proposition, there are successful cases that prove the feasibility of our proposal. An example would include the Forestry Stewardship Council.
We work with some of the world's largest buyers of paper and wood to help them create sustainable products.
We provide a logo guaranteeing authenticity. We help rivers remain clean and flowing.
We even ensure children have places to play hide and seek, and that their kids will do too. Our work provides sanctuary for untold numbers of animals, from the pumas in Brazil to the Amur tigers in the far Russian east.
While we ensure forests are protected for plants and animals, we also make sure the forests work for us.
Forests provide us with paper for our printers and furniture for our homes, drinks cartons and toilet rolls, coffee cups and shelves, flooring and pencils, and a whole long list of other things.
But we recognise that if the forests are to work for us, we must work for them too, and twice as hard. As stewards, we must protect, not profit.
FSC brings people who love forests together. A world united in